Let's see what Alan Campbell can do with the pressure really, really on.
In the white boat, Alan Campbell has lifted it again.
He's going to catch Hacker. Hacker thought he had him.
So inside 50 metres now, and Alan Campbell from Great Britain is going to have a fantastic result here. It'll be gold for Alan Campbell, Great Britain, and what a result. Time to perfection. That is how you race in the men's heavyweight single sculls.
Everyone was a little bit shocked, and I think it's a few people by surprise, but it's made me really determined because I've realised I've got the speed. I haven't just been barking up the wrong tree for several years now. I can make it, and you know, I'm looking forward to the next race now, and obviously the World Championships.
Tell us about this amazing relationship that you have with Bill Barry, your coach.
Well, Bill sort of found me in 2002. I was rowing with the Army crew in 2002. We were training here on the Tideway for the Gateshead, and after the Gateshead was over, Bill sort of heard about me for doing crazy things on Wednesday evenings at the sprints within the club and stuff, and he said, you know, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to be an Olympic champion. And he was like, right, okay. So he said, you are barking. And he said, you know, through that summer we worked together, and he's one of my best friends as well. And I mean, you know, I could trust him to do anything for me, and likewise he could trust me to do anything for him. And I think, you know, we're very, very close, you know, just in friends-wise. But there is always that sort of, when I'm out in the boat, there's a definite coach-athlete relationship there, where it's like, you know, it's like, what are you doing?
Just going back to Munich and the final, Bill, what did he say to you pushing off, leaving the raft? Did he say you were going to win it? Did he say, good luck, you can win it?
Well, we sort of, the night before, after the semi-finals, we discussed, you know, what we could do, and we discussed how we were going to race, our own race, not necessarily about everyone else. But, you know, we always had that sort of belief that we could win, and Bill's always one of those people that's like, you know, how far can we push your potential, you know, how much more can we do, how much better can we be? And it's one of those things, it's like, why can't we win the final? You know, there's no rule says that, you know, you will not win the final. And we hadn't played it up too much, but the morning when I came down to breakfast, I had a bit of a smile on my face, and he gave me a bit of a wink, and we did the nod, and we knew it was on then. And then when we voted for it, it was, you know, he said, this is it, let's go for it.
Hi, Mum. It's going to get tougher now, isn't it, in Poznan? Because you're up against the world champion, Mahe Drysdale.
Yeah, I mean, Mahe came out of nowhere last year himself. I mean, well, I knew who he was, and I was, you know, my money was on him firmly, so it was, because he'd come down here and train with me after the Olympics. And when you sort of train with someone like that, you can pick things up, and I think he taught me a lot about sort of you can be harder than you already are. But at the same time, me and Bill, we taught him a little bit about techniques, we do. I mean, he's still a bit rough around the edges.
In the quiet moments away from all of this and the training, do you allow yourself a little thought about, well, I could be world champion this year?
I mean, that is something that I think everyone thinks about. You know, if you know, true winners, I think they all sort of imagine themselves doing it, because it's one of those things, if you can't sort of see it or conceive it happening, then how will it ever happen? And I think I do see it, and you know, I do dream about it, but at the minute it's still a dream, and I've got to make sure that I can make it happen.
Alan Campbell takes a moment to gather his thoughts as alongside him his training partner and now rival Mahe Drysdale looks to thwart the young pretender. Always tense these final seconds. So remember Jack Beresford? Well, no, he was the last person to win an Olympic medal for Great Britain in the men's single scull. Okay, so that was back in 1924. But here's a new name for you. Alan Campbell, Great Britain, lane number 2. Current leader of the 2006 World Cup Series. He'll be wearing the yellow jersey. There he is, top of the picture, already going out fast and furious. A lane order then in the men's single sculls. Sweden up there in 1, Caron from Sweden. Great Britain's Alan Campbell in lane 2. Mahe Drysdale from New Zealand. Now he's a character, the world champion, the current world champion. Germany's Marcel Hacker in 4, Norway in 5 and Argentina in lane number 6. A great race here, Dan Topolski alongside me.
Well, look at him go. Look at him go. He loves getting off fast. They practice to get off fast. His coach, Bill Barry, said very early on when he started coaching him a couple of years ago, he said, let's get the first 500 right, and then the rest will take care of itself. Well, he's taken a length out of a fantastic field. The world champion is here, the Olympic champion is here, and Marcel Hacker, a former world champion as well, who was hoping to match him. He's been practicing rowing at 36, 37 strokes a minute the whole course in the heats, and here he is now, a length and a half behind Alan Campbell, who is still moving away.
This is an absolutely sensational start here from Alan Campbell from Great Britain. Now, they raced in the semi-final yesterday, and Mahe Drysdale, from New Zealand, the world champion, just held him off, and he looked comfortable holding him off. And again, Alan was up there, Dan, on the high rate. It's a complete switch of tactics here, isn't it, today?
Well, what happened is he got away fast, and then Mahe caught him and overtook him, and he had to attack. He dropped his rating a little bit in the second 500, and that's when Drysdale got through him. But he's not making that mistake here. Look, he is going for it now in the second 500. He's looking so compact and so powerful in that compact way he's moving, and his boat is running beautifully there.
So a length of clear water thereabouts now. He's clear, he's going quickly into this second 500 meters. It was Great Britain won, New Zealand in second place, and Sweden in third place going through the 500 meter mark. Now, Dan, this has got to be dangerous. This has to be dangerous here. It's all or nothing to 1,000, and then it's hanging on in, because he can't sustain this.
Gary, what he's done is he's really paid out a huge amount in this first 750 meters, and the key now is how much is he going to suffer and allow Drysdale back in. Drysdale's emerged from the rest of the pack. You can see there is bound, just beginning to squeeze back, and now the pressure will be on Alan Campbell to see what sort of courage he's got, because that's what he's really got. He's not a huge guy, you know, this guy. He's not a big man, but he has tremendous racing courage, and that'll be what's going to come to the fore in the next 1,000 meters.
So Alan Campbell has one thing on his mind: Beijing 2008, a gold medal. Well, he's on his way. He's doing all right. He's up there, no problem. We have such high expectations for him. It's his first year at senior single sculls, and he's doing so well. So at the halfway mark now, Alan Campbell from Great Britain leads by 1 length, but ominously in second place, New Zealand, Mahe Drysdale, the world champion, is starting to track him down, and here he comes again. It was such a big gap in that second 500, Dan. He's now tracking, Alan Campbell starting to pay for it. Has he got the psychological power, the willpower to hold on and hold off Drysdale in lane 3?
Gary, Alan Campbell is very young. He's 23 years old. This is his first season ever in a single scull. His training partner all through the winter is the world champion Drysdale. So you've got these two guys here who spend all their winters training together under the same coach, Bill Barry, and now the race is on. He's young. He still doesn't understand really yet. He hasn't got the sophistication to understand about this kind of high-class racing. All the guys behind him, they really know about single sculling racing. But here now, what can he do to hold Mahe off?
So the world champion from New Zealand, Mahe Drysdale, just creeping up. Another couple of strokes and he'll be level. A few more strokes and he'll be through. So they're level now, and now he's starting to go through. At this point in any boat, as you row through, you keep your heads up, you're strong, you know you're confident, you know you have the technique to do it. He's moving away slowly but surely. Alan Campbell from Great Britain. Now these two scullers are clear of the rest of the pack, Dan, and it's whether he can turn this around again and move on.
Gary, the rest of the pack is the Olympic champion, former world champion. They're really classy people behind him. But yesterday, when they raced these two, they were 4 seconds off the world record. That was extraordinary.
So into the closing stages of the final of the men's single sculls, and Alan Campbell, who was so valiant in the first 1,000, he blasted out, he led the field, but he was tracked down in the third 500 by the world champion Mahe Drysdale from New Zealand. Really in this race, there's no other scullers in it. If you look back, you can see there's the gap back, the chasing scullers there. Marcel Hacker to your left, a former world champion from Germany. He's struggling at the moment. Now the scullers out front, Alan Campbell, current leader, won at Munich 3 weeks ago, didn't race Drysdale, he wasn't there. Now looking to move on again. He was quick in the last 500 down. He had a blistering last 250.
Well, he was racing a Hacker there, and Hacker got through him at 500 metres to go, and then he turned on an extra power to get past him again into the final. But here, Hacker's closing down on him.
So we're looking at 250, just over to go in the remainder of the men's single sculls. Mahe Drysdale from New Zealand out front, but here comes Marcel Hacker from Germany in lane number 4. He is challenging Alan Campbell from Great Britain up there in lane number 2. This is going to be a fantastic sprint now for the line, Dan.
Well, here comes Campbell again. He hasn't actually completely dropped back off Drysdale. Drysdale's seen it. Drysdale's gone up to 37 strokes a minute. He's the world champion, and that's why he's the world champion. He's got tremendous courage.
100 metres remain now, and Alan Campbell has not rolled over. He refuses to give up in this race. He's tracking Mahe Drysdale from New Zealand. He's moved away from Marcel Hacker from Germany in lane number 4, but up to the line, Mahe Drysdale from New Zealand. It's a convincing win in the end for him. A length ahead of Alan Campbell. What a great race, though, has to be said, in his first international season in the single scull. Well, fantastic start. He's
just performing wonderfully, and you can see that Drysdale knows he's been in a race. They know each other well, and for Alan Campbell, in his second race, it's how he's going to work this out over the next 3 or 4 months for the World Championships in August.
So the world champion from New Zealand, Mahe Drysdale, opens his account, but Alan Campbell, without a doubt, is a name for the future and for 2008. Marcel Hacker, Germany, in 3rd place. Alan, well done. Fantastic race there. Let's just start on the start. Blinding.
Yeah, it was a bit. I think I was, after yesterday's race, it was really quick. And to be honest, I was going out, I thought the world record's on here today. And, why not give it a shot? And, it didn't obviously pay off towards the end, but, I gave it a good shot and we opened up a good lead. So we did a healthy lead towards the 1,000. And, it was a little bit disappointing that it didn't quite work out at the end, but, these things got to be done.
What do you think of the fella? He's going to be on your coattails right the way through now, isn't he?
Well, yeah, as long as he's on my coattails, that's where I want him to be. But yeah, it's great. It's great to have these exciting races, and to win in a race like today, you've really worked and you felt like you've really won a great race, and that, I think we're going to have that all year, and obviously this one went my way, but at the end of the day, Eton is the one that counts, and that's the one we're all aiming for.